Hello there. Kyle Katarn here. Welcome. You have entered the hype chamber for Skeleton Crew episode 4. We are, let's look at the clock here, 16 minutes away from some brand new Star Wars. And the thrill of that has not left me yet. You know, the fact that we get new Star Wars all the time now. I'm old enough to remember the drought, all right, the content drought, when the best we could hope for was a dancing Xbox Kinect game. We've come a long way, guys. We've come a long way. What's up, Droid Herder? How you doing, man? Digi, I'm glad you survived your fall. Jesus Christ. I want you to know that I went back and I tried to recover your gear, but your pack is still there. And yeah, we're gonna have to do some damage control next time. Well, I'm happy to remind you. I'm glad. I would hate for you to miss the next episode because I have heard that it's a banger. I haven't seen it, but it's directed by the Daniels, who did Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it's a Neil-centric episode. So that's 3 reasons why I'm excited. Anyway, yeah, no, this is gonna be good. Neil's hilarious, man. I knew that he was kind of be like, oh, he's like this cute kid, you know, he's gonna be kind of the comic relief, but he's actually hilarious. Like, his physical comedy is top notch. Like when he fell over, when he tripped on that ledge when they're running to the ship. Oh, or the way he screamed, like absolutely screamed when the X-Wings hit them with the ion. That was so funny. It was so funny. I'll try to keep my language appropriate, and I don't want impressionable rabbits hearing the wrong things, you know. They understand. I'm convinced that most animals do understand us. They just choose not to participate. You know what I mean? Murderpaws definitely knows what I'm saying to her. She just chooses not to give me anything back. How you doing, man? Welcome to the hype chamber. Here we are. Skeleton Crew, pretty good series. B-, C+. You know who you remind me of right now? You remind me of the teacher droid in their class. Just like going through the aisles, just like handing out grades like B-, C+. I like it. No, it's good. Hello there. Darth Shadow himself. The Cosmo Network, what up? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can have a full-blown conversation with Murderpaws, and she'll just be like, you know, like, scene, red. Hunters started to learn whole sentences, now I have to learn new ways to think. You got to try and train like a dog to only speak a language with the dog. You know, so you have like a command language. That way you don't like accidentally say a word that like triggers the dog to do something when you're like having a conversation with someone. Achuta, how rude! I would have gone with Achuapenki, my Patisa, but you know, it's fine. It's very Twitter of you. Totally true. It's like the whole wand choosing the wizard thing. I don't know. I'm not allowed to go back to the shelter because I keep coming back with a new cat every time. I do foster hospice care for cats. I've done like 5 or 6 of them at this point, and it's a lot of work, but it's super rewarding. And I definitely have a problem when it comes to not being able to say no to like a little animal that's like, take me home. So it's off limits. I have to go with like a handler now, like someone to supervise me to make sure I don't adopt like 3 cats. Now, I've been thinking about that, and I think that you might be right. I think that the supervisor is definitely going to be like the main antagonist behind like the mystery that currently is at Attin. But you know, all roads lead to Rome, as they say, and that's definitely true here. We are constructing a narrative, and everything leads back to the sequel trilogy. You know, to that era, to the First Order. All roads lead to Exegol. That's the saying. That's what it is. But if there was a connection there between the supervisor's identity and like the First Order in its infancy, I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be. Watch that be true, though. Watch that be absolutely canon and turn out to be the case. I would laugh so hard. Oh, I see. Achuta is hello, and then Achu Apanki. Achu is the shortened version of Achuta, which is why Achu Apanki is like good day. It's like a formal. Cool. Well, first of all, I'm sorry for coming at you so hard. And secondly, thank you. You just helped me learn something about Hutty's syntax. I understand it a little bit better now. So thank you for that. It's like some alien with like a little beard and like a red flannel. And his name is like Lord Jukas or something. Some Star Wars version of his name. I'd be into it. Who would play him, though? What actor would you get to play the canon George Lucas? T-minus 10 minutes. We are almost there. The Bendu is making dinner, so I think my reaction's set up. I can kind of take my time getting ready to record the reaction tonight because I think he's going to be joining me a couple minutes late. So gives me some breathing room because today I actually went on like a long driving adventure that was completely unplanned and unexpected and took up most of my day. So I'm just happy I'm back in time to watch Skeleton Crew. I'll just leave it at that. You know, I know you're joking about the whole AI thing, but I have thought several times, what if the supervisor is like a supercomputer? Because that's absolutely one of those 80s tropes, and they're fully playing on like all of those awesome Amblin classics and all these 80s things. But one thing that hasn't really been touched on that is definitely in that wheelhouse is that the brain behind it all is literally like a brain in a jar, or like a giant computer brain plugged into everything. You know, like a HAL kind of thing. So maybe there is some crazy algorithm that is running the place. Because I'm blanking on her name now, but Fern's mother, the undersecretary of the office of the supervisor, she could she seemed very surprised when she learned that the supervisor wasn't going to see them or anything. I don't think she knows who the supervisor is. I think it's there's a complete like veil there. It's the man behind the curtain from Wizard of Oz, like absolutely. And will then be revealed to be Robert Downey Jr. Oh man, I already used it, but
out. Ted, I got your voucher. Out!
Yeah, Jude Law and Orson Krennic. Director Krennic is also a Kree, so we've already got some crossover going. Oh my god, it's been Echo all along. Echo all along, coming soon to Disney Plus. You know, Dedra Miro is a fascinating character, and I really, really, really hope we see her in the larger galaxy, by which I mean outside of the show that she comes from. You know, like if her story plays out in Andor and she dies in season 2 of Andor, then like I don't know where else we would end up seeing her. But if they do reincorporate her, she survives season 2 and then she becomes like the supervisor of Attin. That would be crazy. Why though? She would be wherever Brendel Hux is, wherever Ray Sloan is, just like working hard to reestablish order in the Empire. I feel like that's where she would end up. I don't see her going like the despot route, personally. It's hard to get a read on the dad, Wendell. It's hard to get a read on him, man, because like I've seen too many memes, and now every time I see him like have a moment of like being lost in thought like that, he just looks like he's like, man, I need to get back to work. You know, my boss is gonna kill me. But it is possible that he knows who the supervisor is, or at least know that the supervisor isn't a person. She, in this context, was referring to Fern's mom, the undersecretary, and whether or not she's aware of the identity of the supervisor. Because it seems like she doesn't know. It seems like most people don't know. You're right. That's what I meant. I don't know what I said, but that's what I meant. I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, the reaction is going to get taped ASAP. As soon as it's finished, hot off the presses, the full-length version is going to be going up on Patreon. You all know how to find the Patreon. There's links all over the place. Then it gets sent off to Nerd Chronic, and as soon as possible, the highlight version will get posted on YouTube. So you can stay tuned for that. We're almost at the end of our hype chamber here. We got 5 minutes left on the episode. So I don't know. It's a fun thing. It's a beautiful thing. Like, all of us nerds, we don't like know each other. We can't see each other. But in 5 minutes, we like have this knowledge of like what all these other nerds around the world are doing at the same moment. And that's fun. I like being a part of that. I like feeling connected to that. So I'm glad you guys are all here. Enjoy it, like just hanging out with me, passing the time. I appreciate you. Thank you. That is also something I can't figure out. And my best guess is that it's a two-way kind of deal. You can leave, but you can't go back through. I think that they may encounter trouble trying to pass through the barrier a second time. The barrier's been mentioned enough in and out of exposition that it has to become a major plot point. And so I think defeating the barrier is going to become key to them being able to get back to the planet. Yeah, I bet it's one of those force fields where you can go out, but once you're out, you can't come back in. Either that, or there's a series of ships that have been whitelisted by like an administrator, and for whatever reason, the Onyx Cinder. I don't know why that would be on the whitelist, unless it's somehow unless this crashed ship is connected to the supervisor, and therefore connected to the barrier. There's a million questions, right? Was the barrier like created in recent times, or does it date back to the same time period? It's the reason the planet's lost, right? So it has to be as old as whatever era they disappeared in. So is the supervisor super old? Again, this points towards it not being a person and it being like a droid brain or something, an algorithm or something like that. SM-33 doesn't have a memory of arriving on Attin, and that tells me that he was turned off before the ship arrived. That's the only way to explain why he wouldn't know. And I feel like it's been hundreds of years. An easy 100 couple of years. If you go back and you look at it in those first 2 episodes, you see like a perfectly spaced out grid, a symmetrical grid of little red dots all across the sky. That's not natural. It's definitely man-made. So there is something technological happening in the atmosphere of the planet to prevent something, probably detection, maybe people arriving or leaving. But it's not just natural gases. Like, there's definitely some sort of tech involved. Well, I mean, maybe they didn't need to worry about people trying to leave because there were no ships. Like, this ship was buried. No one knew it was there. And we haven't seen any other ships on the world. They don't even have speeders. Like, like the kids have hover bikes, but like Wendell was coming home from work on like a little rail car. Like it was attached to a rail, like a track on the road. So it seems like a very grounded, like, civilization. They don't have the means to leave, so maybe they never had to account for that. My guess is they were destroyed by the Nile. That's what I think. I think they were destroyed by the Nile. Maybe one was destroyed in the Great Hyperspace Disaster, even. Or they were eaten by Darth Nihilus. That's my new fan theory. It's not going to be the case, but wouldn't that be something? Talk about a major acknowledgement for KOTOR 2. It's 5:59. We have come to it at last. Episode 4 of Skeleton Crew. I'll see you guys on the other side. I'm really excited for this. Stay tuned for the reactions. They'll be dropping as soon as possible. Thank you again for hanging out with me, guys. And as always, may the Force be with you.